Hey guys, and welcome back to another semi-formal video essay. If this is your first time here and you don't hate my voice, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe, and at the end of this video, go ahead and leave a comment so we can have a nice discussion in the comment section, obviously. Okay, that's enough. Let's begin. So Disney Pixar just released a new movie called Luca a few days ago, and I watched it immediately. It's a really good movie. It's nothing you haven't seen before, but we'll get to that. We'll get to how familiar this movie is. But anyways, let's start with our big question. Disney's Luca, what does it mean? So to really explore what Disney's Luca is trying to say, if anything, we first have to break this movie down. We have to go step by step, delving into the characters, which brings us to our first topic, family systems, and how they characterize Guilia, Luca, and Alberto. Now forgive me, in an effort to make this video not 6 hours, I will be going kind of fast, okay? Forgive me twice because, I'm a psych major and I kind of looked at this movie very, very hard, okay? So when talking about family systems and how they characterize Guilia, we can see that she has a very healthy co-parenting system. I make this judgment confidently that it's healthy because, first of all, we see how much her father cares about her. He doesn't want her to do the race because she gets sad, which is very, he cares deeply about her. If it was my mom, she'd just be like, no, because I'm going to have to take you to the hospital if you get hurt. No, this father is like, hey. You got so sad last time you lost. I don't want you to do this. He cares about her a lot. We can tell. And we never meet her mom, but we can see that she's responsible. Julia goes to school and whatnot. We can just assume that she's a responsible and also caring and loving mother. Another reason I make this judgment is because of how she acts. By US psychological standards, she seems very neurotypical, very confident. She stands up for herself against bullies. She has a strong sense of self. She's super friendly. She stands up for other kids and has a healthy balance of risk-taking and cautiousness. I do believe that her characterization is a direct result from the way that her parental system, her family system, is depicted in the movie. Now on to the next character, Luca. Luca has a very, very loving mother, However, she's overbearing and overprotective. She seems to smother and coddle him, and with her controlling behavior, she tries to shield him from all of the dangers of the world, which in turn keeps him from experiencing the world. And in the movie, what do we see when she feels like she's losing her control over him? Her first reaction is to send him away without so much as a talk to understand his perspective. Now, on to his father. His father is distant and inattentive as a parent and seemingly as a husband. He's too preoccupied with his crab race and other Chad dad things. He's negligent. And so as a result of his family system, Luca is a sheltered, less than confident boy who is excessively cautious, easily frightened, easily manipulated. He's gullible, and he's kind and caring also. He's a bit of a follower, and he clings on to Alberto because of his perceived confidence. Which leads me to our last main character, Alberto. Now, I think this is one of the more obvious that this kid isn't exactly neurotypical, I would like to say. He has no mom, he has no dad, so he definitely has daddy and mommy issues. It's easy to say this is completely unhealthy, and it's obvious how it affects him. He has this facade of confidence. He pretends to know everything, has a dangerous pattern of risk-taking behavior. He's reckless. He projects his feelings onto others. He's manipulative, controlling, and charming. And he also rejects intimacy because he just isn't used to it. So we just took a deep dive into the family systems, how they're portrayed in the movie, and how they affect our three main characters. Now this is important because this affects the decisions they make in the movie. So it's important to understand where they're coming from when they make these decisions. And I think it all leads back, you guessed it, to their family systems, to the way they were brought up. So let's take a closer look at Luca, the movie. So this movie is so pure and innocent. In my opinion, it's one of the most realistic portrayals of adolescent friendship, from the unavailable dad to the pseudoscience bro friend who shows you all the things your parents didn't want you to find out about so soon, or ever. There's the overprotective, overbearing parent or parents. There's something so restrictive about being a child with no money, no way to get around. It just triggered me. Your brain runs more on emotion than logic, so, thanks to that underdeveloped prefrontal cortex, it's a rough time being a kid. And in Alberto, Luca finds freedom. Once he conquers his fear of leaving the water, the Vespa then becomes the symbol of freedom. And that's for both Luca and Alberto. And we know this is because of different reasons, right? For Luca, it's more, hey, I'm finally out of the water. Time for me to soak up anything I can. Time for me to learn everything I can about what's up here. Go on adventures and so on and so forth. For Alberto, it's more of the fact that he's afraid to settle down, or he's just mentally incapable of settling down. He says in the film many times, we don't need anybody but each other. Let's get out of here. Let's get this Vespa and just hop around the earth, right? This is an aside. Silencio Bruno is the cutest thing. It's the cutest thing, and it's what I'll remember and take from this movie. Alberto uses this to justify his risk-taking behavior, right? But Luca uses it to find the confidence to try new things. And it's just so... I'm gonna say it. Silencio Bruno! Oh my god. Please don't unsubscribe, please. But that was cute, but it's obvious that's what he says to cope with his negative feeling. Well, to repress his negative feelings, Alberto. He says Silencio Bruno whenever anything negative comes in his head, just to block out all of the trauma and to just continue living in the moment. Now, you can't really talk about this movie without addressing the Guilia Arc. So, when Luca starts becoming closer to Guilia, the abandonment issues that Alberto have, they start flaring up, right? And he gets super, super jealous. That's the thing about trios. No matter what, one person is always a little bit more left out than the other two. Take it from me, every friend group I have is a trio. I am so used to that feeling. And in adolescence, I would find myself clinging on to my one friend just as we see Alberto does to Luca. And let me just say, I have very, very strong parallels in my own life to Alberto. So I'm speaking from experience. That's fun. Like I said, with the jealousy in the Guilia arc, I perceived that more of him having his abandonment issues triggered, right? However, there is another take on why it is Alberto gets jealous, which brings me to the next topic, the queer reading of Luca. Now, I want to say, despite Disney, right, what they're coming out and saying, despite what they're saying, you're not wrong if you read this movie as queer. You are not incorrect. There is no way to be incorrect in how you read or perceive art. That's just incorrect, right? There are a lot of things that could be taken to be metaphors for the queer experience. Alberto being tossed out by his dad, for instance, that is a lot of queer people's stories. Luca's family suppressing his desires. Again, being afraid of being accepted by the townspeople, by people in your city, and by people at school. That all happens in real life. The cute moments of trust and bonding that could be read as, friendly can also be read as romantic. And the jealousy, that could also be read as, abandonment, or he was jealous because he won't Luca. But the part that really, gave me, this could be queer, was at the end when the bully gives his little speech to the townspeople when they all surround the kids after they reveal themselves to be sea monsters. When he gives his little speech, and at the end of his speech, Luca says to the bully, "We're not afraid of you." And the bully responds, "Yeah? Well, we're all afraid of you." And then he, says some other stuff. But at that point, I was like, what bully would admit that he's afraid of the people he's bullying, So, I don't know, those words felt really loaded to me. There was definitely a dual meaning there. And, some people are deciding to read that as queer. And I don't think you're wrong if you're reading it as that. I see it. Again, when I watched this movie, I didn't see it as queer when I was first watching it. I saw it as growing up, coming of age kind of movie with different family systems. But there is no denying the queer subtext under it. There is a queer reading to this film for a reason, so you're not seeing patterns where they don't exist. There is queer subtext to this. Anyways, that's not all that this Guilia Arc is good for, right? In this arc, the Vespa loses its sparkle for Luca. It's no longer his freedom, but it's still Alberto's. So knowledge becomes Luca's new freedom. He wants to go to school. Then we get the whole Luca versus Alberto, right? And that's where we get the most beautifully animated scene in the entire movie. The entire budget, you cannot convince me otherwise, the whole budget was spent on this one scene. When Alberto outs himself, again, gay allegory, when he outs himself to Guilia and Luca. When he outs himself right at the harbor or whatever, and he becomes a sea monster, that is so beautifully animated, and that's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. But you can't deny that doesn't have a queer reading to it, because, a friend outs themselves, "Hey, I'm gay," or "Hey, I'm a sea monster," right? And the other friend is so shocked and just scared, in fear of everyone's reaction, which isn't good. Even Julia's like, "Get away!" She grabs a stick, right, ready to wonk him in the head with it. And yeah, Luca responds in the way that anybody who's put in that scary position, not anybody, but, some people who put in that position would react. He says, "Oh, you're gay? Ew!" Or, "I don't understand that. I'm scared of that," even though when in reality, he's gay himself. He's a sea monster himself. So there's the queer subtext. On to our next topic. Haven't I seen this movie before? They should have just called this movie The Little Sea Monster, right? Because of how much it just reflects and projects and gives that Ariel, the Little Mermaid energy, right? So, we know the whole story of both movies. Fish thing feels trapped under the sea. Parent forbids them from leaving water. They leave in pursuit of knowledge and falls in love with land. Parent comes to terms with the fact that the child will be happier on land and they accept it. Movie over. Now, was I talking about The Little Mermaid or Luca? Both, right? Just in Luca, we get a more realistic villain, I guess you could say. And there's no, quote, heavy quotes, magic besides the transformation, right? There's no spells or witchery or tritons or anything going on. It just looks normal, honestly. It just looks normal. If you told me tomorrow that fish could actually do that, that they could come on land, get completely dry, and then turn into something else, I'd believe it, because this movie paints it in a very realistic light. There's not magic happening here. And quite honestly, I do find it a bit more refreshing for this fact that it just feels slice of life. And guys, I just want to say one thing. I watched Chefreless Productions video right before doing this tonight, right? I have my script written and everything. If you want receipts, as soon as I finished watching Luca, the day it came out, as soon as I finished watching it, I was like, that gave me Studio Ghibli vibes. I don't know why. Ghibli, I don't know. I don't know why, but it gave me Studio Ghibli vibes. And then he said it in his video. And I was like, okay, so I'm not the only one. Who picked up on that. And I think where it comes from is, like he said, it's more focused on, like, the little things. You know, the bond between the characters instead of the mission at hand, right? It's not really about getting this Vespa. It's about how Alberto and Luca react to each other. How Alberto reacts when new friend is involved. How Luca reacts to parents coming on land to find him. You know, stuff like that. Which, sad point I want to bring up, it was really sad how Alberto, since based on his own experience, his parents never really cared about him. So when Luca's like, I think my parents are here looking for me, he's like, no. What makes you think that? They are not going to come and look for you. They're not going to do it. It's not going to happen, you know? He was projecting his own feelings about his own parents. That's a really sad moment. That moment choked me up a little bit. So our last topic of this video is acceptance. The townspeople accept sea monsters at the end of the story, right? Very, you know, it didn't feel earned. I will say that. But this is a good kids movie, you know? Didn't feel that so much earned, but in real life, people who are different shouldn't have to earn their acceptance, right? So if you want to read it like that, it makes it a little bit better. You know, black people shouldn't have to earn the right to not be murdered in the streets for doing nothing, you know, something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's a reach or stretch or something. I don't know, but that's how I attribute it to that. So it, you know, feels a little bit better. Because at face value, it's kind of cheap, you know? Who would just, you know, decide one day, you know what? White people aren't so bad. Just one day, you know, just wake up with the thought, my hatred of white people, throw it away. And then I guess you could say they earned it by winning the race, but wouldn't a display of strength and agility make people who are frightened of you more frightened of you? I don't know. So I'm just gonna leave it at, you know, people who are different don't have to earn their acceptance. I think that's a more beautiful way to look at it. But another moment of acceptance is Luca accepts that the Vespa is no longer his dream. And then Alberto accepts that Luca's dream is no longer the Vespa as well. And then another moment of acceptance is when the parents accept that they can't keep their child from the world. What I think is the best part of this movie is when there's people, you know, but they're not actually people. They're older sea monsters hiding in plain sight amongst the people. And I just thought it was like, you know, I just thought that was so beautiful. And even though in my first viewing of the movie, I didn't see it through the queer lens, just attributing it to the queer experience, that really is how it goes, you know? The older queers see that nowadays the younger queers are being accepted, and then they come out. You know, Caitlyn Jenner, even though she's not queer, she's trans. You know, nowadays, since times are a-changing, people are getting smart and realizing that we're all the same no matter what, you know. More people are coming out. More older people are coming out. More older people are safe to come out because it literally wasn't safe. It wasn't safe. And that just makes this movie perfect to view from the queer lens. It really is. And in my opinion, I think it adds so much more value and it gives so much more of a deeper meaning to the movie to view it from the queer lens. But if you don't view it from the queer lens, I think it's still like a pretty good movie. I think it's still a really good movie. Because you're focusing on the bonds and like friendship and stuff, right? It doesn't have to be queer. But if you look at it, if you choose to look at it through the queer lens, there's just a bigger and more beautiful message, I think. So in conclusion, what does this all mean? Is this a what makes a monster and what makes a man kind of story? No. There would be more of a focus on the bully versus Luca or Alberto, like Hunchback versus Frollo. Frollo is his name, right? Yeah. It would be more focused on the conflict between the two, different characters. But it's not really that focused on the bully we have. I don't know his name, guys, please. What I got from it was the actions of few can save the lives of many, or something along those lines, or all it takes is one person to change the something. You guys know that quote. And one of the last things I remember hearing in the movie before we get the whole Alberto and Luca goodbye, very heart-tugging scene, right? The last thing I remember hearing was the scene where the grandma is talking to the mother, right? And the grandma tells the mother, some people will never accept him, but some will. That's the takeaway. That's the takeaway. Despite what you or your parents think, nothing is all bad or all good, but the good outweighs the challenges. So my final thoughts, I cried watching the movie the first time, not the second time. Actually, okay, I cried both times. I like Alberto. I like Alberto a lot. Because I can relate to him. I liked one of my favorite parts besides when Alberto outs himself. One of my favorite parts was at the end when they're saying goodbye and Alberto tells Luca to go find out what that one Italian phrase was. Since he's the one going to school, he's like, find out for me, saying you're gonna learn so much. Go find out for me. And what Alberto needed the most in the movie was to feel needed, right? His parents abandoned him. But Julia's dad needed him. And so that's why he chooses to stay with Julia's dad. Because he needed him. And I just thought that was really cute and really heart string pulling or whatever. So, in conclusion, I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's queer. I don't know. I don't know if it's about family systems. I think it's whatever you get out of it, that's what you get out of it. And you're not wrong no matter what you got out of it. So let me know what you guys think it means. Let me know what you guys got from it. Let me know what lessons you pulled from it. And yeah, comment, like, and subscribe. And I'm really active on the community part of YouTube, the community post or whatever, so I will be posting sometime really soon. So let me know what kind of a video you want to see next. I can do Disney again. I could do I watch anime. So I watch Ghibli movies, Ghibli, whatever. I watch anime and I watch Disney movies. And that's pretty much all I watch. So let me know out of those three things what you want me to do. Also, I'm going to start watching the Marvel movies because I feel like I'm missing out. Anyways, that's it. I'm sorry. Okay, I have a minute left. So, to make this a perfect 25, I'm going to stay here for another minute. I watch Finding Dory every night to fall asleep. It just feels right. It just feels good. Baby Dory's so cute. I was planning to make a video about what that movie says about disabilities, which I can still do. I've like written part of the script, and I was also gonna make a video. Well, I have a couple of videos planned for Princess and the Frog, so just keep your eyes peeled. And actually check out that community tab, because I'm going to be posting probably tomorrow. Honestly, probably as soon as tomorrow, I'll be posting, and I'll be doing a poll on what video I should let out next. If you guys don't say anything, my Disney people, the anime people, are gonna win, and I'm gonna have to put out another Attack on Titan video or a Jujutsu Kaisen video, because I'm gonna start watching that tomorrow. I'm gonna start watching Jujutsu Kaisen tomorrow. So, wow, this is the longest minute of my life. I've been talking forever. Okay, take the second right now to go subscribe right now and like the video and comment. Okay, bye.